Oh yeah, just get an avocado toast, mate. Cheers. Is that you? Stop being boring. I'm going to show you how to make cafe quality avocado toast right at home with a fraction of price. Happy New Year, everybody. What a year, what a year. Welcome to 2022 and welcome back to Sam Kitchen. My name is Sam Lin. I am a home cook who's really passionate about sustainability and more importantly, just save money by making things at home, and hopefully I can be helping you guys do the same in your own kitchen as well. From a scale of 1 to no, I'd rather not talk about it. How broke are we after Christmas and New Year, all these spendings? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure every single one of you are financially responsible and life just carries on, right? But doesn't hurt to have a little bit of tip when it comes to home cooking, and I'm going to show you one of the most classic breakfast over here in Australia. We're going to do avocado toast. By the time this video goes up, we would just finish our holiday season, and all of these like lavish lifestyle, eating out and that kind of stuff, you don't want to stop. But hey, I'm here to help you. Having worked at cafes for years and years, avocado toast is that iconic item that you will offend so many people if you ever even think about taking it off. So many cafes has got their own twists, their own way of interpreting avocado toast. I'm sure you've all heard the saying that if you stop buying avocado toast from your local cafes every single morning, you'll be able to afford a house in X amount of years. Thanks, boomers. We can have cafe quality breakfast right home with a fraction of price. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today. So without further ado, let's get cooking. And here goes the ingredient list of our avocado toast. Of course, we'll need an avocado. Avocados are so cheap at the moment. I've got this one for $1.20 from just a supermarket. Obviously, we can't do avocado toast without bread. Here, I've got a loaf of homemade sourdough. It's so bloody cheap to just bake bread at home. I'll leave a link to my sourdough video in the description below if you haven't checked it out already. Optionally, if you're feeling a little bit peckish, add in an egg to level up the dish. Last but not the least, our choice of garnish. One of my personal favorites is to top avocado toast with dukkha. I got gifted this very nice, fancy, delicious, amazing I think I said fancy already. Anyway, dukkha by my partner's parents. Shout out to Alex and Sharon, you guys are the best. Anyway, but for today's video, of course, I'm going to show you how to make dukkha from scratch, so stay tuned for that. That's all it is, super simple recipe, and we'll put these aside and get started. Before we prep the avocado toast, we want to put on a pot of hot water for our poached eggs. And maybe for some coffee as well, because it's obviously not breakfast without coffee. We want just enough water for our eggs to be floating in the water without touching the bottom. So make your own judgment here. Onto the stove on medium to high heat until the water is boiling. We'll put on the lid so we're being as energy efficient as possible. Coming back to our workbench, we'll start off with slicing off our sourdough. I know I've said it before, but there's something just so satisfying with slicing bread off a loaf. With this loaf right here, I added in some chili flakes and it is absolutely gorgeous. To keep our bread fresh as long as possible, we slice it right in the middle and work our way out. The speckles of chili flakes in this loaf is stunning and smells so good. To store the cut open loaf of bread, I grabbed a kitchen towel, put the loaf in the middle with cut sides facing each other, pull in the two ends of the towel and wrap our bread tightly to lock in as much moisture as possible. The bread is good to stay in the bread bin for 7 to 14 days in room temperature. Now we've put the bread away, we're going to move on to the dukkha. Dukkha is super pungent, at the same time nice and nutty. For convenience, store-bought ones are easily accessible, but obviously me being me, I'm going to show you how we can make it right at the comfort of our homes. We'll start off with roasting some nuts. Into the pan, I added some hazelnut and almond. Next, we move over to the stovetop to roast our nuts on low heat. While we're at the stove here, our pot of water is now boiling and it's time to poach some eggs. Lift the lid off and we want to add in a touch of vinegar to help our egg white hold together when being poached. Turn down the heat and give the water a gentle swirl. And then we crack the egg into the middle of the spinning water. The movement of water in combination of vinegar will help keep the poached egg in shape. Give it a gentle stir to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pot. We'll then cook the egg for 3 to 4 minutes. On the other side of the stove, our nuts should be nice and toasted now. Next, we'll add in some sesame to give it a good toast for about 30 seconds just to bring out the oil. Once done, move them into a mortar and pestle or a food processor. Add in cumin and coriander seeds. Gently pound the nuts to break them into smaller pieces and then mix in the rest. Dukkha doesn't have to be super fine. I personally actually like it a little bit more textural, like what you can see on the screen here, so feel free to make your own judgment here. By the time our dukkha is made up, our egg should be ready to go too. Transfer the egg or eggs onto the chopping board to drain off the excess liquid. There is no need to use any paper towel here. Last thing to do here is our avocado. Slice the avocado in half the long way. Give it a twist and we'll put one half aside for now. Take the stone out carefully if you are planning on growing it into a tree. For well-ripe avocados, you should be able to just peel the skin off really easily. To easily slice the avocado, put the flat side of the avocado against the board and use the tip of your knife to just slice away. Avocado has got a buttery-like kind of texture that any knife should cut through with ease. Let the knife do the work and just use your secondary hand to guide it. I cut the avocado about 90% through while leaving the rear end intact, and I'll show you why in just a second. Once we're done slicing, use your hand to gently press down the avocado. The avocado should turn into a beautiful petal-like shape, and with the rear end intact, the avocado is less likely to fall apart when transferring over to the bread. Now, plating time. Bread on the bottom of the plate. Use our knife to gently lift up our avocado and onto our sourdough. On the poached egg. And then our homemade dukkha. Top it with some flaky salt. I wasn't too stoked about the presentation because everything is so flat. Solution? I stacked one end of the bread together and it made such a big difference. Top it with some freshly cracked pepper and that is our avocado done. Of course, I didn't forget about the egg pawn. With our leftover half of avocado, the best way to store it is to soak it in water and it'll stay fresh in the fridge for a good 3 to 5 days. The cost breakdown is as below. 2 slices of sourdough is about 12 cents. Half an avocado at $1.20 per avocado is about 60 cents. 1 egg is about 17 cents. Homemade dukkha is about 5 cents per portion. Altogether, our avo toast costed us 92 cents to make at home. Are you really going to pay $12 to $18 at a cafe? No wonder you can't afford to buy a house. Alright, and there we have it. We've got our avocado on toast done with an extra poached egg and our homemade dukkha. And over here, you might be really confused. So these are avocado plants that I was able to make from, you can see, avocado stones, avocado seeds. So there are plenty of tutorials out there, and these are the plants that they have been sitting at the window over there. So just wanted to show you, you don't always have to throw your avocado stone away, and you can turn these into really cute house plants. So I don't think I can eat with these in my face. I'm going to put it away and come back. Alright, so I just had to refocus the camera, but got our avocado toast done here, and it's such an iconic dish over here in the Australia cafe culture, and there's so many variations of avocado on toast that you can play with. Chuck an egg in there, still very vegetarian friendly. Put in a cheek of lemon, and then just to give that zing and that acidity to make it more vibrant, perfect for like a summer weather like what we have right now, or a bit of a dukkha to give it a bit of a twist, or some smoked paprika. There's so many different things that you can do with avocado toast, and I'm going to dig in and let you know how it tastes like. The avocado is so rich and satisfying, and the sourdough this time, I added some chili flake into my loaf of sourdough, and it just makes it so fragrant and works really well in a savory dish like this. I don't think you need much more explanation on how avocado toast tastes like. Obviously, you can swap out the bread with whatever your preference is and play around with the variation. This over here costs you a fraction of what you would pay at a local cafe. And the quality, just look at the avocado, beautifully sliced. A little secret to share with you: if you go out and get avocado on toast, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, if they all come out pre-mashed, there's a high likelihood that the avocado is probably second grade, so they need to mash it up to disguise the bruises, the oxidization. So that is a bit of a red flag that we'll pick out when it comes to dining out at cafes. I personally would look around and I would not order any avocado that comes pre-smashed. Just saying. Anyway, I've talked enough and I'm going to have to get back to my breakfast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you give the video a like and consider subscribing. I have a video coming out on a 2-weekly basis. Happy New Year again, and I will see you in the next one.